So we have objective, we have experience, and we have education. So I have a certain amount of space that I need to do for each of these, right? So in order to do this, I may look to create a guide, okay? Probably would be a good start. And so the guide's going to help me understand as to where I want this text box to fall, okay? So it's probably good that something like that, you'll notice my guide is not locked down. So that is an important thing also to keep in mind. If you want to lock your guides, always good to do so. And that, of course, is in your view, guides, and then lock, right? So that being said, now that I have that, I may go in and actually lock them down. View, guides, lock. There we go. Nice, okay. And now I have that guide that I can then begin drawing my type box out with. In this case, I'm living very solidly. I'm living by this this line, but because I have a bend that's coming off here, I'm probably not going to start my text box here like that. The reason being is, first of all, it's the header of the copy, or the top or the ascender of the copy. So it's not going to really have a whole lot of bearing on being aligned to the top with this 0.7 is what I'm getting at. So what I'm going to do is instead, I'm going to start my box, my body copy right. I might start it right there. Okay, I'm going to draw a line, and you guys get those invisible, get those guides done up. The guides are so absolutely integral to and just ensuring everything is exactly that in alignment, right? Now, my body copy for this, I want to have it span between this guide, and I'm going to draw another guide and have it land somewhere about there, okay? So now I have an overall rectangle here that I've created, right? I've got this guide here, all right? And then I've got, yeah, looks good. Now, this another thing, everyone, sorry, I probably should have mentioned. You may want to make your lives a little easier. Notice how I have this green copy that's going on here. Notice how I had this text box was so long. You may want to clean that up before you duplicate it like I'm doing here. That way you don't have to do it 4 times. You can do it just once. Anyway, word to the wise, these things can be handy. Okay, you may also want to go in and, right, if you hide your body copy, you can have a better look at it. But anyway, let's move on. Body copy, ready to rock and roll. So I have a good starting point for this, okay? And what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go in and I'm going to see if I can't get a text box laid up here, okay? Again, I want my smart guides on, and so I'm gonna go here into my guides and smart guides, and they are on actually. So what's going on here? Usually it does highlight for me, and it doesn't seem to want to be working. There it is. It's really difficult to see, but notice how it goes from black to white. Can you see that? Oh my goodness. I hope I get the quality done up. Okay, so by clicking, you'll notice that it will hopefully take you to where you want to be. Okay, so I'm going to go here and start to draw. And with smart guides on, you may need to zoom in a little bit. Mine didn't want to snap all that well. And then I can go here, and now what I'm going to do is just bring this out, and it should start snapping. Okay, snap to the guide. That's again with our smart guides on, and I might go in here and just snap to guide, lock column guides, and we are there. Okay, perfect. So it should be snapping. It's possible I need to restart also. Sometimes it just needs to be, as we all know. There we go. So I've got a body of copy here now, right? And it looks like so. If you ever want to fill in to see what it looks like, you can fill in placeholder copy. See that? That's type fill with placeholder text. So already this is kind of neat. It gives us an idea of what we're looking to do. Why would you want that? For anyone who's worked with a client and they're not quite ready for the copy, but they want you to get started on it, that's where this is really handy, because by doing this, what I can then do is, right, I can put some breaks where I feel there are breaks, and then I can show this to my client and say, here it is, check it out, and rock and roll, right? So there we go. We've got a nice layup for them, and we haven't really done anything. Anyway, that's kind of a neat little thing that you can utilize. I don't have that, right? And what I do have is I need to start creating some copy for this. So as mentioned, I do have my objective that was over here, and I'm going to select over here on all of my body copy. I'm going to change all of my body copy to Gotham. That would be my first start, right? And so I'm going to go into Gotham light, and that looks really good. Okay. And now I have objective, and you guys can work on your objective, but I'm going to just put an objective right here, right? And then, of course, I may add a few more sentences with this to continue to grow and learn. Grow and develop would probably be better. Awesome. Yeah. So pretty straightforward. And I got one line of copy there, right? So that's good. Working nice. Yeah. And I based it on the line there. Now, when you're doing this, typically in InDesign, I like to you should flow the copy properly. But in this case, because I do have this sectioned off as I have it, you may look to do these up as separate boxes when you go to do it. The reason being is now that we have something like that, I can go down, and even better, what I probably should have done here, everyone, is start doing it like so. And these are things that you kind of realize as you go, and you plan, but you don't really think about things sometimes, right? Once I have something like this, and I have my objective, and I'm really happy with it, this maybe is what you want to duplicate. See that? So I may get rid of all that. Now that I have my main body copy here, ready to rock and roll, again, I may fill this with placer. There we go. Just to kind of get it in there as a filler. There we go. Okay. And then what I may do now is take this, right? Now I'm going to do a Command Option drag down, and I'm going to put it somewhere about there. Okay. And then what I can then do is go here to step and repeat like I did before. You can give that a try. 2. Hey, neat. That's even better, yeah? Because now what we've got is we've got our body copy all set up and ready to rock and roll, okay? I can then start copying and pasting our text over into this, okay? And then we have something we're getting there, right? I'm gonna just save that, okay? And then we can start copying and pasting our information over. So professional experience, you may have, I have my my title, and then I've also got that as my header. Okay, so I'll go in, right? We'll do something like that. I may find that this is too much, right? But you'll notice I have my date of where or how long I worked there for, which is kind of nice. Okay, of course, where it was is important to have in there. Okay. And right, there we go. Now, this is where we look at hierarchy of type, right? Now, my objective, you may keep your objective all the same size, right? Which is fine. When we're getting into things like this, I may suggest that you do, when you get into, say, time, right? Because typically when you do a time, right, we want to know that I've got a bold instead of a regular. And this is your general hierarchy of type. So what I'm going to do here is, instead of light in Gotham, I'm going to go bold. Nice. See that? How nice, how easy and simple, right? Now, the only problem with this Gotham is you only have 2 options. I kind of like having a little bit more a variation because I may want to do a sub. Now, even though we don't have a different bold copy, what we can do in order to make it work all is we can go in and, sorry, let's just get rid of this copy here. There we go. We don't need any of this. Form up some. Okay. So what we can do is I'm going to do 2010 to current, the place, the city. Yeah. And then what I can do instead is let's look to size down this copy. So I'm at 12 points right here. I might go in and make this, say, 10 and have a look at it. That's getting there, right? So now I have my title. Actually, title probably should be, title we might want to keep as a little bit bigger, right? So sales manager, if anything, maybe we do something like bring this one down, because the location is good. I may even do, you know what, instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of Brantford, Ontario altogether, just because. Okay, it gives me a little bit more space and freedom. Okay, so don't be afraid, right, to have fun with it. It's your resume, right? I'm not looking for anything specific. Mine did have a location. That's, you know, it's good to kind of call out, I guess, where you work, but depending on your design and if it works, if it does or it doesn't. So now what I'm going to do is just find my copy for that, right? So manage here, manage, report, and I've got way too much copy here. And so maybe I'll just cap it and do my 3 points for my job or work experience, right? So this, of course, will be experience, right? And then I have this, and I'm going to do a return. All right. And then I'll find, this is where you're going to have to play around. And maybe you're going to go, oopsie, my work experience is really long. Okay, no problem. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bump down the rest of this in order to make my experience fit, right? Or maybe my objective really was only one line, and then we look to fit it in and we see if we can't do something on that regard. Or maybe we do this and we're like, oh my goodness, my face is taking over too much. I need more space for my copy. Like, thank you, face. It's nice and all, but it's not as essential as the copy portion, right? That's really important. And so what we may do is go here and then look if we can't grab all of these at once. And notice how I can actually grab all of these text boxes at once. And I may move all of the copy over. So I am negating this one guide that I was playing with, but I had to, because you know what? I needed the room. I don't have any choice in the matter, because, oh, I have choice. You always have choice, but you know what I'm saying. Cool. So there we go. Now we're just playing with this copy. I'm getting an overall look and feel for it. We want to make sure that we don't have any orphan type, which is your the little guys that get left behind, right? Which is important. We also maybe look, right, to go here, and I can just play with this. Sorry, if I'm going to do it to one, though, just make sure that you do it to all of them. That's, if there's one thing of advice I can tell you, is do to one. You're going to do, depending on what it is, but you guys get the idea. All right, cool. So we've got something like this, right? And we've got the spacing. We've got some hierarchy of type going on, right? We've got that in our experience. We've got that. We've got a job in there, right? And then what I'm going to do here is my, this is education, right? And then in the education, same idea. I'm going to duplicate kind of what I had up here, right? And then, hey, remember I talked about duplicating? I may have waited till I get this done. Isn't this fun, eh? I keep doing the same thing over again. There we go. There we go. Right? And then duplicate that now. Holy heck. And that way, at least I have a header the way I want it. I've got my, you know, location, etc., ready to go. Now, obviously, education's a little different because we've got to go in and look at our education, which is way down here. Oh my goodness. Right, 98 to 2000. Oh my goodness. And that would be my Mohawk stint. Yes, I'm an alumni. All right, and then we go in and we get our experience put in there. So, or your education put in here, right? And I'm gonna do this really quick, right? So I'm gonna just do my college, right, to 2000, right? And then instead of Adidas, I'm gonna put Mohawk College, right? And then this would be a right, advanced graphics diploma. Good. And then from there, this is where in your education you want to state things that you did while you were there, right? And so that's always nice to put the proficiencies that you have, the software, etc. And let me just get rid of some of this so I can bring it up for you, right? Education, courses studied, right? So Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, etc., typography, right? And so maybe I'd take those right? And we put those into our education, right? And you guys can do that, right? You guys are working through this stuff. So add it, right? And so I'm going to do that, right? I've got my tab that is on there, and so I might utilize that tab there. That works actually really well. You'll notice I didn't utilize tab throughout here though, and so again, we want things consistent. If I don't have a tab here, you don't want to do it here. So I'm going to digress on that and bring these back. And I want everything to be the same. There we go. All right, right? So I've got Advanced Graphics Diploma, something like that. Mohawk College, right? We've got the programs, good. And then lastly, we have our hobby, right? And so I'll go down here. Now, hobbies, of course, whatever it may be. You may not even have a year, but maybe, like if it was a softball, men's softball, or, you know, gymnastics or whatever it may be. This is, again, I called this out before, extremely important. The hobbies are great, so call these out and have fun with them. Okay, so there is your basic resume. Oh my goodness, I say basic. Hopefully you followed along okay. What I'll do is maybe, yeah, I don't know, maybe I can upload some of this stuff for you so you guys can mess around with it possibly. But really what I'm hoping is that you'll be able to work on yours as you know, as you go through it. I wanted to show you that you do have a preview here that will allow you to kind of see how things look without having it crop. So in this regard, it's kind of nice because I can kind of have a look at it and see what it looks like when it's going to be trimmed. Now, I think it needs work for sure. Overall, again, I've only got so much time here, and but I think we're getting there, right? It's not outstanding, but it's there. It's a resume, and yeah, so that's where we're at. Okay. So I hope that helped you get started. It gave you an idea of where we wanted to be. Go on and check out some other resumes. Check out the links that I provided for you. Get a sense of ones that you really love. Please, again, don't copy anybody's resume. This is yours. I want you guys to create something that's awesome for you. Okay, and I want this to be, of course, your resume, not a template one that you found online, because that's just not that's not what we're doing here, right? So that being said, the only thing I'm missing here is contact information. And so what I may do, and you'll notice what I actually was planning on doing, but I want to end the video there, is just put a line of copy here with my cell phone number and my address possibly. I don't know that you need to put your address on this. But really, cell phone number, email address, website is always good, right? But just some contact information. There's nothing worse than a resume or even an email, etc. That doesn't have the ability for me to contact you. It's frustrating, yeah, as an employer. So give it some thought, have some fun with it. See if you can't play around with some space and make it really interesting and fun and funky. Or not. If that's not you, maybe you want to make it, techie and super high tech, or maybe you want to just do it earthy. Remember, this is going to be a reflection of you. It's also going to move into your portfolio. It should all come together, something real beautiful. And so what I need to now look at, everyone, is we are going to go in the last video. I know one more. We're going to do up a cover letter together, okay? And with that cover letter, what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can't come up with something that's close to what we have here in the resume, just to make sure that things are tied together beautifully. Sound good? All right, everyone. So I will be back shortly with another video.